Ever seen something underwater that feels like it shouldn't exist? Not because it's scary, but because it's wrong. Like your brain can't label it. It's not swimming. It's not drifting. It's just there. Flat, silent, unfamiliar, like a glitch in the ocean. And for a second, you actually wonder, did I just see a UFO? This is not an alien. This is a juvenile of the batfish. A baby fish that looks nothing like its adult form. And what you're seeing right now? It's one of the strangest disguises in the ocean. As a juvenile, this fish doesn't just change its appearance. It completely rewrites how it exists in the water. Its body flattens. Its fins stretch out into long, trailing shapes. So thin and exaggerated that it barely looks like a fish anymore. Instead, it becomes something fragile, something random, something easily ignored. From a distance, it doesn't look alive at all. It looks like a torn piece of leaf, drifting aimlessly in the current. And that's exactly the point. Because in the open ocean, movement gets you noticed, shape gets you identified, and recognition gets you killed. So instead of swimming with purpose, this fish does the opposite. It lets go. It surrenders control to the water, tilting, swaying, rotating unpredictably. Not like an animal trying to survive, but like debris that doesn't even know it exists. Every motion is misleading. Every angle is confusing. Predators scan for patterns, for familiar silhouettes, for signs of life. But this doesn't match anything. It's too thin to chase, too slow to bother, too strange to recognize. And in that hesitation, in that split second of uncertainty, the juvenile batfish disappears, without ever needing to hide. Because sometimes, survival isn't about being faster or stronger. It's about becoming something no one even thinks to hunt. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. From certain angles, especially when the light fades, when the water gets deeper, colder, quieter, this leaf begins to lose its identity. The details disappear. The edges soften. The movement slows down, almost unnaturally. And suddenly, it doesn't look like something organic anymore. It becomes a shape, a presence, floating, suspended, as if it's not even affected by gravity or current. Its body spreads out in a way that feels too perfect, too balanced, too symmetrical, not like something that evolved, but something that was designed. No eyes that you can clearly see, no obvious mouth, no sign of life that your brain can instantly recognize, just a dark silhouette, gliding in silence. And in that moment, your instincts don't say fish, they hesitate, because what you're looking at doesn't match anything familiar. It feels artificial, almost mechanical, almost otherworldly, like a hovering object, quietly observing, without making a sound, almost like a UFO. And for just a split second, your brain tries to catch up. It searches for patterns. It tries to label what it sees. It tries to make sense of the impossible, but it fails. And in that tiny moment of confusion, that pause, that uncertainty, something incredible happens. A predator watching from a distance hesitates. It doesn't strike. It doesn't chase. Because even in the wild, uncertainty can be dangerous. And that hesitation, that single moment where reality doesn't make sense, is all this creature needs to survive another day. Because in the ocean, you don't always need to be faster. You just need to be impossible to understand. But this alien-like creature doesn't stay this way forever. At some point, the illusion begins to fade. Not all at once, but slowly, almost unnoticeably. Day by day, its thin, fragile body starts to change. The long, drifting fins, once designed to mimic a dying leaf, begin to shrink, losing that strange, exaggerated shape. Its movements shift too, no longer just drifting aimlessly with the current. It starts to swim with intention. Control replaces randomness. Direction replaces illusion. The leaf is learning how to become a fish. Its body thickens, widening little by little. That paper-thin silhouette, once perfect for disappearing in plain sight, transforms into something more solid, more visible, more real. The dark, mysterious color begins to break, giving way to lighter tones. Hints of silver appear. Subtle patterns emerge. Until one day, the illusion is completely gone. What was once a drifting shadow now becomes a wide, flat, powerful fish. Confident, visible, unmistakably part of the reef. It no longer hides. It no longer pretends to be something else, because it doesn't have to. And that's what makes this transformation so unbelievable. You're not just looking at growth, you're looking at identity change. From something that imitates death, a lifeless, floating leaf, to something fully alive, active, and impossible to ignore. It's hard to believe that the eerie, almost alien figure you saw drifting in the water and the elegant reef fish swimming with confidence are the same animal. No tricks, no illusion, just one life, adapting to survive in two completely different ways. But they are. In the wild, survival isn't always about brute strength or speed. It's not about being the biggest, the fastest, or the most powerful creature in the ocean. It's about strategy. Because out here, every movement is watched. Every shadow could mean danger. Every second is a test between life and being eaten. And the creatures that survive the longest are not always the strongest, but the smartest. The juvenile batfish is one of them. It doesn't chase. It doesn't attack. It doesn't rely on sharp teeth or powerful muscles. Instead, it chooses something far more effective. It confuses. At first glance, it doesn't even look alive. It drifts slowly through the water, thin, dark, almost shapeless. No sudden movements, no signs of panic, just a quiet, eerie presence, like something that shouldn't be there at all. To a predator scanning the ocean for prey, this isn't food. It's nothing, just another piece of debris. A dead leaf, something lifeless and not worth the energy. And that hesitation, that single moment of doubt, is all it needs, because while others are being chased, it is being ignored. Its body stretches into long, flowing fins, distorting its true shape. Its movements mimic the rhythm of the current, as if it has no control, as if it's simply being carried away. But this isn't weakness. It's precision. Every sway, every drift, every subtle motion is part of an illusion. It tricks the eyes, not by hiding behind something, but by becoming something else entirely. Something unimportant, something invisible. And in a world where being seen can mean death, invisibility is power. Because predators don't waste time on things that don't make sense. They hunt what they recognize. They chase what looks alive. But something that looks wrong, something that feels unnatural, that gets ignored. And so, right in the open ocean, with no rocks to hide behind, no coral to disappear into, the juvenile batfish survives. In plain sight. No fight. No escape. Just deception. And this is where nature reveals one of its most fascinating truths. Survival isn't always about overpowering your enemy. Sometimes, it's about never being noticed at all. Because nature doesn't just create beauty. It creates illusions. Perfect, calculated, and almost unbelievable illusions. Designed to bend perception, to confuse reality, and to turn the fragile into something untouchable. Out there in the water, moments like this don't announce themselves. There's no warning, no dramatic signal that something unusual is passing by. Just a shape, quiet, drifting, slightly off. Enough to catch your attention, but not enough to make sense. Your brain searches for answers, tries to label it, tries to turn it into something familiar, but it fails. And that failure? That split-second confusion, that's where this creature wins. Because while everything else survives by being seen, by reacting, escaping, fighting, this one survives by being misunderstood. It doesn't need speed. It doesn't need strength. It only needs one thing: to never be fully recognized. What you're looking at isn't an object. It isn't debris. And it's definitely not something from another world. It's something far more precise than that. A living form designed to break recognition, to exist in that narrow space between something and nothing. And as long as it stays there, hovering in that uncertainty, it doesn't have to run, because nothing ever comes after it.